What's going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and I'm here to bring you an exciting update in regards to our alliance finally hitting difficulty 3 here for the new Incursion 2 raids. Now, for my approach, I always try to save as much resources as I can. So for me, personally, I like going through and min-maxing as best as I can. You know, how high of these levels we're going to be talking about for each of these meta raid teams, but as well, we're going to be seeing if this is even possible in difficulty 3. So I'll definitely keep you guys up to date. For those of you interested in how I've been able to hit some of these min-max levels, I do a deeper dive video and playthrough of how I've attempted them. So I'm going to link everything in the description below. I think the one thing I do need to finish up is just the bio section, but otherwise I do have videos on Mystic, Tech, as well as Mutant. So definitely check those out, guys, if you need reference on how to attack, especially since overall when you're going through these Incursion 2 raids, they're not expecting you to sim or auto sim as much. Understanding how to play is very, very important, especially with some of them not being feasible. But obviously, if you have some massive teams right now, then you can hit the sim button, and you probably wouldn't be needing to watch this video anyway. So first and foremost, though, I want to give a huge shout out to All Spark Heroes for hitting this huge milestone for our alliance, finally hitting that 80%. Let me show you. It's still live right now, actually. So you can see here, we got the 81.69% completed. And thankfully, you can actually hit this pretty decent as well. If you don't need to actually complete the skill section, but if you do, you know, a node or two across all the different areas, you're gonna be able to hit this threshold. So it's going through Mystic, Tech, as well as Mutant, as well as all of Bio, and then finally a node or two for skill, the skill section. So you can see here, you know, I brought in top 10 damage as well, even being the lowest or second lowest in terms of TCP. So it's not about TCP. It's really about building up the relevant roster and teams that are going to be important to push through, especially if you want to be working on the Crimson gear here towards Dark Dimension 7 potentially. So let me show you guys here. Yeah, this is kind of how it looks like for our lane, right? But like I said, thankfully, a lot of my other alliance mates have been able to do a node or two, and that's really what pushes you over to, at the end of the day, the 80% that you need to hit. So thankfully, don't need to actually fully complete skill, which has been a saving grace here. But there's going to be a new skill raid team coming anyway, so that's going to definitely be bringing way for new Incursion raids to come. So now, guys, this is what I'm showing. I want to show you top 10. I basically solo my entire lane all the way through if I can. I will say though, remember these are min-max team levels, so they're not expected to auto sim all the raids, but I do have the guides on how you want to attempt that, and it's crazy to see how much value you can be getting. So if you want to be saving on resources and min-maxing, this is how you're gonna be doing it. I'm going to work my way top down, working through Mystic first and talking about the tech as well as mutants, the options there in bio. And again, everything's going to be linked below, guys, if you just need some sort of reference to see what's possible. So everything I showed you there now builds context to how these teams are going to be. It's crazy to see the insane amount of value. So first off here, Bifrost is obviously the go-to for the Mystic nodes, right? And if you guys have seen my playthrough, it's close, right? This team can two-shot the boss node. It can't do it all the way through because of the fact that it's just times out. They don't have enough damage, but you can see here, everybody except for Val is level 75, gear tier 14. How insane is that? That's why, you know, I hope this video sheds light that, you know, Bifrost team is still actually good. If you're having issues and your Bifrost is geared up, then I'm sorry, you just don't know how to play the node. Because if I can get through with gear tier 14, level 75, and that's 4 out of the 5 members, with obviously the exception of Val here, then you're doing something wrong. Please check out my video, guys, if you're having issues, because the Bifrost section, I absolutely love it when I'm going through Mystic. It's not an issue whatsoever. It's not RNG either. I have a very consistent success rate. So just something to shed light on those of you that are doubting that this works. It works. Next up, and the second best value in terms of placement as well is very similar treatment to Bifrost, being Pegasus, right? Similar to Val, Kestrel is kind of that core and engine of the team. You're going to want to build her up as high as you can. But the difference here is that you want to be building up Pegasus as well in terms of they're more of an all-rounder team in the game. So I definitely do plan on eventually bringing them all to gear tier 16 and 17. But again, I can only spend so much in terms of the gold opportunity milestone, so I don't want to overdo that. But Rescue is a good one to bring up as well. So I have her at gear tier 16. What's really helped for her is I found that the Fortifier has helped immensely. Someone commented and said that it helps with survivability. This instantly changed a lot of my RNG, which is huge. Keeps her alive, which constantly refreshes the revives. We have Kestrel being the Raider ISO 8, which does a lot of passive damage. And then everybody else with Darkhawk, Iron Man Infinity War, as well as Mark II, Ironheart, they're all going to be synergy synergizing with each other and just giving each other continual energy. So you can see 1.2 million shy for Bifrost team, almost 1.3 million for Pegasus. This is some insane value that you can capitalize on. And again, this is able to bring you to the highest level of the raid difficulty for Incursion. I'm going to see if this works in 2.3. I'll keep you guys up to date. Hopefully I don't have to invest more, but if I do, I'll definitely bring those minimum to you guys and obviously capture that gameplay for reference, especially for those of you watching this later down the road when you're working on this. Now, Mutant is where it gets kind of interesting because we've done previous guides before where you can bring in Dev Seed. You need a pretty massive Dev Seed as shown on here with Apocalypse. You can do the first 2 nodes with this team. I do want to point that out. I'll link that below again if you guys need the play order, if you don't have them. But obviously, the go-to is going to be the Extreme X-Men, guys. So you can see here, obviously, Sunspot, Cyclops, Gambit, Nightcrawler, and Forge. They are built up quite a bit more than both Bifrost and as well as Pegasus because they do have a lot more value in the game. They can be used in War and Crucible, but as well, their plug and play is huge. We've seen now with the Age of X getting hinted here with Professor Xavier, you want to be bringing up X-Men characters. They're going to give you value much later down the road anyway, so it's all going to matter. But as you can see, a little bit higher than what we've seen with both Bifrost and Pegasus. Sunspot's gear tier 17, level 90, I believe. We have both Gambit and Nightcrawler being geared to 18. I almost want to say they're crucial for this because of the fact that they just do so much supportive capabilities in the strips they do, and we're up against enemies that have high resistances. So this is what I highly recommend, guys. And as well, even Forge being also geared tier 17. Cyclops kind of takes the short end of the stick here because I don't know if he's crucial, but I love the fact that he can obviously remove revives and Node 1. So just something to be mindful of there. You do need a much higher built up Extreme X-Men compared to when you take a look at Bifrost and Pegasus. We have options as well for the Bile section here. As you can see, you can actually get through the first 2 nodes using this team here, but you need Super Skrull on your team. So Captain Carter, Captain America, obviously having value out of time already, combined with Super Skrull, does put them over. Sometimes I time out, sometimes I don't. It all depends on the RNG. If you know, again, I'll link that below if you guys need to reference that. Winter Soldier, as well as US Agent, yeah, I just stopped building them up there. It just doesn't really make sense. So Gear Tier 16, they're really there just to provide that supportive capability, crowd controlling aspects, and so forth. Captain America, Carter, and Skrull really doing the majority of the work, especially Skrull bringing in that burst damage. So it's nice just to have a secondary option. They're actually mainly used for my boss node because now I can actually use my Hive Mind team here to clear the nodes. So that brings me to my Hive Mind, kind of similar to what we're seeing now with Extreme X-Men, which is the fact that we're needing to build up these raid teams a little bit higher than what we're used to for value-wise, but this team absolutely crushes, and it can easily clean up the boss node too. I'm still trying to get through the initial playthrough of it because there's that burst from Black Cat and all those folks, and I'm just trying to work through that. You definitely, I think, need a sack, but this team also can sim now too, just a heads up, right? So Extreme X-Men cannot sim, but I found that this Hive Mind team right here can actually sim the first 2 nodes quite easily. So we got, Red Goblin here at Gear Tier 17. We have both Gwenom and Void Knight at Gear Tier 18 has been huge. They're really the big engines of the team. And we have both Venom and as well as Carnage at Gear Tier 17 as well. So this team obviously being beefier, but again, they're actually a really decent war team too. So you're going to be getting some dividends there. But as well, if you want to bring in some of these characters for Dark Dimension 6, it could be costly in terms of materials. But if you got it, you're going to be getting some different value outside of rates as well. So there you guys have it. That pretty much concludes all the playthroughs that got us to 80%. And this is my Invaders team. This is the reason why I never build them up all the way, because unless you're hitting 85, 90% plus, the 5th team that's used in raids shouldn't typically be built up. And I've left this team since Incursion 1. So nothing to, I'm really grateful I've saved a lot of resources on skill. I haven't obviously used that at all for these guys, but it is what it is. Hopefully this helps you guys out. I'm going to link everything below, as I said before, so that way if you guys need reference, but this is what's gotten us to 2.3 difficulty now. So now I do plan on using these exact same rosters, seeing how they do, and if they do, great. I'll make an update on this as well. Do let me know anything in the comments below, guys. Hope this helps you out. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.